This is Joe, and today we'd be talking about all the people complimenting me left and right about how good my English is.
You got one compliment. Get over it.
Okay, so I've got this sweet, sweet lady complimenting me. Actually, my accent. First of all, thank you for the compliment. But if I were to ask someone who's a little bit familiar with the accents, they'll know that it's a self made accent. It's neither British nor American nor Italian nor French. I have an accent which is not even an accent. Now, to answer your question, how do I talk like this? Did I learn to pronounce every single word separately or otherwise? Sweetie, it's neither the accents nor the pronunciations that I focused on while I was learning to speak, and even now. And it's definitely not learning to pronounce every single word separately. So, what is it then? What makes me sound like I have a good accent while some other English speakers sound like they're speaking Hindi but English words are coming out of their mouth? The biggest reason to why your accent is fucked is the people around you. And no, I don't mean that you talk like they talk because you subconsciously pick on their accents. No. Accent is all about adaptability. There's more psychology to this topic than there's English, so here's Psychology 101. In the very beginning, when we just start to speak in English, the people around us know that we're not fluent yet. And if at that point you try an accent, they tend to criticize and ridicule you. Not only because your accent is bad, it's bad, but not only because it's bad, but because it's difficult for them to understand a more alien and more complicated accent. So what you do is you stick to a subpar accent, which is the wise thing to do in the beginning. When you talk like that, pronouncing each and every word and each and every alphabet, whether or not it's supposed to be pronounced, people get you. It's easier for them to understand. So what you do is you talk in an accent which is easier for them to understand, which in subcontinent is Indian accent or no accent. So subconsciously, you stick to a subpar accent, which is the wise thing to do in the beginning. But the downside to this is, even when you're good and fluent and can actually speak in your best accent, you stop yourself, thinking whether or not it's super simple for the ones around you to understand. Now here's the trick with accents. All they require is a little bit of attention. In the beginning, when you're just learning, people don't want to pay attention to you because they know you're not at a level worth paying attention to, which is true. So you first have to get to a level where you can convey your message in a proper way in English. But the problem arises when you have reached that level of skill, when you have reached that level of excellence, and years later, you're still worrying about whether or not your accent is a piece of cake for others to understand. What you need to understand is, you know your words and phrases and clauses and sentences now. You probably didn't know them when you were just starting to learn English, but now you do. Now, if you speak with an accent, no matter how difficult it is, people are going to pay attention. And you have to start trying to speak in your actual accent instead of the accent that you've been sticking to for other people's convenience. We see so many movies now, and now when we talk to people, there's sometimes an impulse to say one specific word in a way that they did in that movie or that video, okay? So, whenever you get that impulse, say the word, sweetie. You don't need to hold yourself back intentionally just because the others might get offended. This is actually how I helped myself get rid of that previous accent. I still remember my stepsister making fun of me for trying to speak in an accent in a room alone while reading a book, and she was like, can't you just talk like a normal person? So like, it's not to be taken in a bad way. Just you have to refine your accent, and it automatically gets refined with time if you stop holding yourself back. So all you have to do is, whenever you get that impulse to say one word in a specific way, like they did in a movie or video or in some TikTok, okay, just say it like that. And here's a disclaimer, not a disclaimer, here's like something I need you to know. And that is, when you'd say that word, since you haven't practiced it, you will make a fool out of yourself. So also explore the words you want to say and say them and practice them instead of just getting the impulse and saying it out loud. You're gonna stumble, you won't be able to say it, and you'll be like, oh, something other than that. So there are literally a billion things, not literally, but like there are so many things I could have said about this topic, but whenever I tried to write them down, I couldn't connect the dots. So like this is all for today, but there's a lot I can talk about accents, and I will in the coming video. But for now, this is it. Bye bye.